I never liked high school. Not in the oh, homework kinda sucks kind of way, but in the way where I felt like I didn't belong there. You know those kids who seem to thrive, captains of the football team, student body presidents, the ones who peak at 17? Yeah, I was the opposite of that. I went to McKinley High in Pittsburgh. It wasn't the worst school, but it wasn't great either. The kind of place where the hallways always smelled faintly of mop water and teenage sweat, where the walls had those pale green tiles that made you feel like you were in an old hospital. The kind of place where the teachers didn't care unless you were making their jobs harder. I had friends, but we weren't the loud, popular type. We kept to ourselves, mostly joking about how we were surviving high school instead of actually experiencing it. And honestly, I was fine with that. I liked my routine. Go to school, avoid attention, go home, repeat. Then in my senior year, something happened that I still can't explain. It started with the back hallway. McKinley was built in the 1950s, and over the years, they'd added on to it. New wings, more classrooms, but there was this one hallway that always felt off. It was in the oldest part of the school past the gym, where most of the lights didn't work and the air felt stale, like it hadn't been circulated in years. No one had a reason to go down there. Most of the classrooms were storage now, except one, room 204B. No one really talked about it, but everyone knew you don't stay in that room alone. If you had detention in there, if a teacher made you clean up after class, you just didn't. Kids would joke about how it was haunted, but not in a fun way. More like in a we don't talk about this kind of way. And then one night, I found out why. It was October, about a month before Halloween. My English teacher had asked me to grab some extra copies of Lord of the Flies from the storage closet, which was in 204B. I didn't think much of it. I mean, yeah, it was creepy, but I wasn't a little kid. Ghost stories don't scare me, so I went. The hallway was dead silent, the kind of quiet where your own breathing feels too loud. The door to 204B was already open, just slightly. The room was dark, except for the faint glow from the streetlights outside. The storage closet was in the back, so I made my way in, feeling that weird prickling sensation on my neck, like someone was watching me. I found the books fast. I was about to leave when I heard it. A footstep, not from the hallway. From inside the room, I froze. The air was thick, heavy. My fingers tightened around the book stack. And then another step. I turned so fast I nearly dropped the books. My eyes scanned the dark classroom. There was nothing. Just rows of empty desks, the faint outline of the whiteboard, but the air felt wrong. Like something was standing there, just out of sight. Then, bang! The door slammed shut. I ran. I don't even remember dropping the books. My hands fumbled for the doorknob, but it wouldn't turn. Locked. From the outside. My breathing turned shallow. I felt something behind me. Not someone. Something. Didn't want to look, but I had to. Slowly, I turned my head, and in the dim light near the back of the room, I saw it. A figure. Not a person, but a shadow. Tall, thin, stretching unnaturally toward the ceiling. It didn't move, didn't breathe, but I felt it watching me. And then it grinned. Not with a mouth, not with teeth, but I knew it was grinning. The lights flickered, a whisper right next to my ear.
Not yet.
And then nothing. The door flew open and I stumbled out, heart hammering. The hallway was empty, silent. When I looked back, the room was exactly as I'd left it. No shadow, no whisper, just the books scattered across the floor. I never went back, never spoke about it, but sometimes late at night, I still hear that whisper.
Not yet.
I always thought high school was just something to get through. You know, keep your head down, get decent grades, and move on. I wasn't a loser or anything. I had my group, a few close friends, but I wasn't the guy everyone knew either. It didn't help that I went to Naperville Central in Illinois, a massive school where even the teachers couldn't remember half the students' names. It wasn't a bad place, though. It was pretty average in my experience. It had a decent football team, overpriced vending machines, and that one hallway that always smelled like microwaved fish no matter what time of year it was. It was a regular Tuesday when everything went sideways. I remember because I had just finished gym class and was still sweating through my shirt. I was walking to history, scrolling through my phone, when the announcement crackled over the intercom. Attention, staff and students, we are now under lockdown. This is not a drill. At first, I didn't think much of it. We had lockdown drills all the time. I figured we'd just sit in the dark for 20 minutes while someone in the office pretended to be a shooter. Then, we heard the first gunshot. It wasn't loud like in movies, more like a sharp hop echoing down the hall. Then another, and another. My teacher locked the door, turned off the lights, and motioned for us to get down. No one moved at first. We were all waiting for someone to yell at just a drill, but no one did. Then came the footstep. Running, stumbling. A scream. Something heavy crashing to the ground. My phone buzzed. A text from my friend, Leo. Dude, someone is actually shooting? I was about to reply when something weird happened. The PA system crackled again. It wasn't our principal. It was deep, slow, distorted, like someone was speaking through a broken speaker.
Students, you can come out now. It's safe.
No one moved. A few seconds passed, and then another voice came through. Help! It was a whisper, barely audible, a girl's voice. Then something scratched against our classroom door. Light, slow. My teacher gestured for everyone to stay silent, pressing her back against the wall, eyes wide. The scratching continued, rhythmic, like someone was running their nails down the wood. A soft knock. Then, clear as day, a voice just outside the door.
Let me in.
I recognized it instantly. It was Lisa, a girl from my grade. She wasn't in my class, but I knew her. We had a few classes together last year. I had seen her at lunch just that day. I almost got up, almost went to unlock the door. Then I remembered Lisa's voice was the one that had whispered help over the intercom. But that voice wasn't whispering anymore. I didn't move, no one did. The doorknob rattled. Then we heard footsteps walking away. Slow, deliberate. A minute later, a message appeared on my phone. It was from Lisa's number.
You should have let me in.
That's when I lost it. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. I turned to show my friend, but before I could say anything, the pause system crackled again.
Please, help me.
But this time she was crying, sobbing. It sounded real. And then, in the background of the audio, something else. A low, guttural chuckle. The lockdown lasted 3 hours. The police eventually evacuated us. They never found a shooter. No casualties, no injuries. Just a lot of scared kids and confused teachers. Lisa never came back to school. No one talked about it. Not the teachers, not the students. It was like she had never existed. But sometimes late at night, I still get texts from her number. They always say the same thing. Let me in.
Let me in.